This is my current bike. And one of the most important things that I need to do over the next couple of months preparing for the St. George Half Ironman is get this bike ready to race. So here's the plan. Step one, go on YouTube and watch as many GTN videos as I possibly can so that I can see what I need to do and what upgrades I should choose to get the most watts for the least dollars and improve my power and speed during the race. Step two, I need to prioritize said list of upgrades because I only have so much money that I can spend on this, and the goal is to get as much bang for the buck as I possibly can. Step three, I actually have to go and find these things, and hopefully Craigslist and Facebook Marketplace can help me out there, but we will try and find as many of these upgrades as we possibly can for the right price and get this bike outfitted for a triathlon. Okay, so after watching all those videos and reading through Wikipedia, here's where we're at. I've identified 5 things that I think will actually make a difference and have reasonable enough budgets that we could make it work. Those are clip-on aero bars, which could save what says 20 to 35 watts on average. Probably cost me from $50 to $200. An aero helmet saves between 10 and 20 watts, which is great. Race tires you can get for 10 to 15 watt savings. The helmet was $150 to $300. The race tires are $60 to $150. Deep section wheels, especially disc wheels, seem like they make a massive benefit as well. Those cost you anywhere from $500 to $1,500, so pretty unlikely those are gonna make the list. I did see some people mention like a disc wheel cover, so we might look into that as well. That's 8 to 15 watts per wheel. And then aero extras, so that's things like a little box on top to hold your gels or an aero water bottle or something like that. Saves you from 5 to 10 watts, which is great. And that costs between $20 and $60. So the next step is to look through Facebook Marketplace, Craigslist, stay on the computer, figure these things out, and hopefully find someone who's willing to sell us all 5 of these things for reasonable prices. I really hope we don't have to end up buying anything new because that's gonna kind of take the budget away. My overall goal is to do something for under $500 with everything. So maybe that's a bit aggressive, but that's my goal for all of this spend. So let's dive into Craigslist, Facebook Marketplace, and see what we can find. Okay, so I have trimmed down my numbers a little bit, looking through Craigslist, looking online, and seeing what we might be able to spend on this. So here's where we're at. The clip-on aero bars, which were our #1 improvement, will probably cost me $150. I don't want to go on the low end, that $50. It just seems like things get really cheap and you're going to be spending a lot of time in these aero bars, so $150 is the price that I think is reasonable. Aero helmet. Turns out I still have my aero helmet back from when I raced in college, so I'm gonna be using that. It's pretty old, but we're gonna make it work. That makes it free, so that's an easy addition. Nothing we have to worry about there. So, I mean, 10 to 20 watts for free. I'll take it. Race tires. It seems like it's not gonna make a huge difference which brand I use, but brand new tires and race specific, I think like GT or GP 5000 is pretty popular. That's probably what I'll go with. I think they're like $60 each, so 120 is probably what we'll spend there. Now, deep section wheels is probably the most interesting that I'm most excited about because I was able to confirm that there is a thing called an easy disc. There are a couple other brands, but basically what it does is it wraps around your existing wheel and it turns it into a disc wheel. And those cost like $150 to $200. So best case scenario, I use a disc wheel on the back, spend $200 there. And then the aero extras, it kind of just depends, aero water bottle, stuff like that. I don't know how deep I want to go into it, but it'll probably be somewhere around $50 to $75. So that means we're spending $200, $300, $450 between 4 upgrades and a free upgrade aero helmet, which right underneath our budget, which is perfect. So that means we can likely get all 5 of these things nailed under our budget. So over the next couple of days, my goal is to find these things, go on Craigslist, message a bunch of people, get ghosted when I ask if things are available. And ideally, the next few days I'll come back right here and I'll have all of those upgrades to show you. We can put them on the bike and it's gonna be awesome. So I'll see you then. Well, I have some explaining to do. So here's the situation, and don't be too mad, but this is what went through my head as I was looking through Craigslist, I was looking on Facebook Marketplace, I was all over it, I was trying to find those upgrades, I was trying to find the right ones, and you would be surprised how hard it is to find used aero bar clip-ons that you can add to your bike that fit your bike in a local radius. So as I was looking, here's what happened. If you remember, we talked about my total budget for this build, and it was about $500, and we had the numbers just right so we could get the 5 upgrades we needed for right around $450. Now, in my mind, I fast forwarded to what would happen if I actually bought all those things, spent $500 and put them on my bike. Now, I would have $500 in upgrades that are very specific to my bike and would probably be very difficult to sell. And if I had to sell them, I'd have to sell them individually, so it's like a little difficult there. 2, if I had those upgrades on my bike, the problem is that if I want to go ride my road bike, now it's a lot more difficult. I have to do a lot of work and mechanical work to the bike to actually make that work. That's kind of annoying, not a deal breaker, but kind of annoying. The last thing though was that if I was to make all those changes, I was also gonna need to make a bunch of other changes, and people on Facebook Marketplace told me this, that if I get aero bars, now I have to move my seat post all around. I potentially have to get like a different angled seat post so the geometry works, since the geometry is totally different apparently on a triathlon bike. That I was pretty worried about. They said, go get a bike fit, but I don't have $400 for a bike fit. So anyway, that being said, I decided that maybe there might be a slim chance that I could find a reasonably priced triathlon specific bike that I could have for the season. And then when the race comes, I can race on the new bike and then sell the new bike afterward and hopefully take less of a loss on that bike than I would potentially have spent in upgrades. So you might be following my logic. If not, let me know where my logical fallacies are. But if you're on my side and want to see more about what we got with this new fantastic bike, let's go through what we got. So you may be wondering what the purchase price of this new to me Scott Plasma 5 was. And because of my expert haggling skills, I was able to get this and all of the add-ons that we're going to talk about in a second for $2,000. Tax-free, I think. But I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, Jaden, I thought this was an upgrade video. I thought you were gonna stick to your budget of $500. $2,000 is not less than $500. And first, I will say, this is my video, so I can do whatever I want. And if I try to change the plan, I'm not gonna go re-record everything that I recorded before. The plan is to make the video, so we're gonna make the video. Second, I think it's awesome. I think it's a great bike. I think it's a huge steal and it's a win, and this is reality. So this is what happened. So we're gonna go through what I got in this bike, what I got for $2,000, and I think it was an absolute steal. Let me know in the comments if you disagree, but I'm pretty sure you'll be as excited as I am. So overall, we talk about the Scott Plasma 5, and this is it. First off, you're looking at an incredibly aerodynamic frame. I don't know if you can see in the camera. Look at that, it almost disappears when I turn it to the side. So incredibly aero, we're working with some awesome foundation here. I've got a physics seat, which has been upgraded. I've got a double bottle cage carrier thing. It also came with a single bottle cage carrier that he gave to me if I need it. I need a ton of water while I'm riding, so I'm just gonna stick with 2. It comes with these 51 Speed Shop aero bars on like platforms. They're pretty tall. I didn't know aero bars were that tall usually, but that's what they look like. I had to move these like armrest things a little bit so that they fit me better, but they look great. There's a little water pouch right in the front that you can see. So that holds, I think, a bunch of water that I can put in as I'm riding, and has a little spout sip thing you can use. Also, the biggest things on this bike are that it uses electronic shifting. That's huge. I still have to figure out exactly how to use it. There's only one button on each side, but there's 2 different things you can shift. So I'm still working on that. I know how to do the back one. You just click it and it moves left or right based on which button you click. I will look up the instructions later and figure out actually how to use it. Haven't figured that out yet. It has to charge. Just need to start charging those. That's something I need to keep in mind. And check it out. I don't know if you noticed, but these are upgraded wheels. Look at that. These are SES wheels, so they're carbon fiber wheels. The actual model, let me find it for you on here. Basically what it is a carbon fiber wheel, and it's fairly wide, rim brake, and it's, I don't know, like maybe 50 millimeters of deep section, so that's pretty awesome. And obviously the aero upgrades, little extras like this bento box up top, aero water bottle, aero section to hold my extra stuff like tubes and things. These are tube tires, so I'll have that as well. Honestly, I am so incredibly pumped by all of this, but the biggest thing, the secret that I've been holding until the end is This guy, check it out. Included in the purchase price of 2,000 US American dollars was this Zip full disc wheel. It's also got a nice tire on it. It's also tubed as well, so keeping that in mind. But it has the cassette on it. It's got everything I need to throw it on the back of the bike and race in St. George with a disc wheel, a formal, proper disc wheel. I am so excited. I think this is gonna be massive for my aero improvement. So if you weren't convinced that this was a fantastic deal a second ago, now you can go into the comments and say, wow, what a great deal on that bike. It's a steal. So I'm really, really excited for this. This is gonna be huge for my race. It's just gonna be a massive improvement. So I'm gonna have to practice with this potentially. I don't know if it makes a huge difference of like having the disc wheel and the wind and things like that, but rest assured in St. George, I will be ready for the race. And another thing that's more of a convenience factor, but it also has a power meter included on this bike, so I did not have to move my existing power meter from my old bike over to this new one. Another just convenience thing that I think will help drive the resale value once I go to sell this bike after. If you're interested in this bike and you're willing to pay what I paid for it, let me know. It will become available in late May once the race is finished, assuming that I don't catch some weird triathlon bug and decide to keep it. But that is not the plan because that is not in the budget. So it will definitely be on sale. It will most probably definitely be on sale after this race. And if you want to see more about my training, how that's going, what I'm doing to actually improve myself, not just the gear that I'm using, check out this series. And if you want to subscribe to the channel so that you can see these updates in real time as they come out over the next couple of months, check over here. That's where you subscribe to the channel, and I will see you in the next video.